Hi guys, what's up YouTube? This is Robot Hero here at it with my first Sun and Moon OU battle that I at least recorded. So here I'm up against Obii, and without further ado, let's get straight into team because as we see, he has a broken mon called Pheromosa, and that thing can body through my team. The only thing I have is Aegislash, and with having U-turn, Pheromosa is a huge threat. It will always be a threat. Another threat I see is Tapu Koko, because I also have a few switch into that, because who wants to take a Life 4 boosted T-Bolt that has a Choice Specs boost because of Electric Terrain, with a solid special attack stat, great offensive typing, and it's just a really threatening mon. That's also really fast, can't forget that. So, my team, I'm carrying Infernape, who thrives in the Steel meta, and you'll see he does play a role in this match. I have Latios, and he's scarfed because I gotta be able to handle all these broken threats like Pheromosa and Tapu Koko and all this other stuff. So that's essentially why I have Scarf Latios. It's a good mon because of all the busted stuff right now. We have Unaware Clefitch just because another mon that people aren't using right now that's pretty busted is Zardax. But they're not running it, but it's still useful because it sets up rocks, and it's a check to Pheromosa. Got Gliscor, because Gliscor is a monster this gen. This metagame thrives well for Gliscor, and I'm not even going to spoil anything. You're going to see why Gliscor is amazing. We have Aegislash, that I'm running a set without King Shield. It's more or less just an experiment, because, unpopular opinion, I don't actually hate Aegislash. I think Aegislash meta back in X and Y was one of the best metas, and I really do appreciate this thing being back. It's actually the reason why I'm even bothering to play Sun and Moon. And I got Tangrowth, which is this there because it's a good bulky grass. It can check a lot of mons, and it doesn't see a lot of use this match because it doesn't really do well against his team. Beats Lando, that's about it. As for leads, I expected him to go into Venusaur because he can get the turn 1 Mega Evolution on practically every mon on my team. And he could also go with broken Lucamine looking ass. So I decided to go with my Latios, might even get a surprise kill. So that's what I decided to do. And without further ado, let's get into the match. So my opponent sets Leo with Landorus T. And this gives me a few options. Now, I was thinking two choices. I could either send out Gliscor, send out Clefable. But I sent out Clefable because I was worried about knockoff, and I need Gliscor for this match. So I said, just to send out Clefable, Yacy gets a free switch into Venusaur, which sucks, but at least I get a chance of poison. And because this Venusaur's out, I don't want to risk my Gliscor getting put to sleep. So I said Tangrowth is the least valuable member, and I should just, if it goes to Sludge Bomb, it dies. If it goes to Sleep Powder, then that's great. Unfortunately, Latios now, I have to go for the Psyshock, but the good news is that even if he sends out Aegislash, which he does, I can send out Gliscor and get a free poison heal. And because his team is rather weak to Gliscor, I can just set up and go from here. But I decided it's better off if I just go for the knockoff in case he sends out Lucamine. So I end up doing that. But he sends out Venusaur, which is pretty alright for me because I can start setting up. And while he does deal a decent damage, I can end up roosting that off and it ends up not being a huge deal. So this was just a bit of a stall battle. I'm just roosting up. I'm trying to make sure Gliscor is at a good enough health so I can easily tank Aegislash and Lando T so I can set up on it. So he keeps on going for Giga Drain. He doesn't want my Gliscor to be at reasonable health. And now here I go for the Earthquake. He gets a Giga Drain crit, which sucks because it means I'm especially forced to go for Roost now. But it's okay because my Gliscor is back at full. And I can easily switch out to Clefable to tank this Pheromosa. He goes for the Ice Beam, gets a crit, which doesn't really matter a whole lot because this guy carries Poison Jab, which means my Clefable is just bopped. So I'm just, okay, let's get Stealth Rocks because I was expecting U-turn. Expecting U-turn for the second time, I decided to go out to Gliscor so I can get momentum because his team doesn't have a lot for Gliscor. But nope, that doesn't happen. I said, let's just sack Clef now. He's not going for U-turn. I'm forced into Aegislash, and I know he's going to switch. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that Pheromosa, in case Latios gets up Defog, does not have a Focus Sash. So I go for the Pursuit, I get it out, and because my Aegislash doesn't have King Shield, it's forced out, I just go into Gliscor as it goes for EQ. That's pretty good. I just want to get some knockoff, just get some good damage on anything. I weaken this Latios, which is pretty solid. And fearing Surf, I decided to send out Aegislash, just because I know he can tank it. But Latios goes for Defog. Fearing the potential Shadow Ball, I decided to go out to Gliscor just to sponge it. But he ends up going for a cover, which means I can essentially set up because I know he doesn't carry Surf. So he goes for Draco, and I know I can eat that up. I do, because Gliscor is a monster, and I know I can set up. Unfortunately, he has the Pheromosa, which means that I'll be forced to switch out because that thing can OHKO me, even with a Jolly Nature and 0 investment, which is stupid, because that's all that he has. I'm basically guaranteed a kill. So, no matter what comes in, something has to die, and he chose Latios. He sends out Pheromosa, that's fine, I can go out to Aegislash. Fortunately, I can sponge any hit it goes for, and the upcoming switching, I can just go out to Gliscor, like Aegislash, because I can sponge up this Shadow Ball, and I can just go for Swords Dance. But instead of setting up, I didn't want to risk Pheromosa coming in, so I went for the Earthquake, which does nothing to Lando. Gliscor is such a huge threat. My opponent's Landorus is forced to explode. I didn't expect that coming, so I didn't go for the Roost, which sucks because now Tapu Koko can hit me off with an HP Ice. Go to Aegislash to tank the hit, and I know I can take an upcoming Thunderbolt, so knowing how big of this threat is, I just have to go straight for the Shadow Ball. He sacks Aegislash because, honestly, all that is setup fodder for my Gliscor. To get some chip damage off with Shadow Sneak, does a ton, so now I can't really wall Tapu Koko, but at least its Aegislash is gone, which is pretty good. So he sends out Tapu Koko. I said, you know what, let's just send out Latios. I want to get some Life Orb residual damage going. I know I can take a Thunderbolt. And I said, here, if he goes for Dazzling Gleam, then Nape can tank it. Let's go to Venusaur. This is alright by me because I could just go for U-turn, and if he decides to Synthesis, the damage I got from U-turn would mean that Lottie can kill with Psyshock. I decided to just go for Gear Drain. I still eat that up. I go for a Psyshock. I tank it out. Now he's forced into Tapu Koko. I decide, you know what, let's just tank this one last Dazzling Gleam. I end up doing, that's one Life Orb hit. I'm going to sack this Aegislash, which makes it a second Life Orb hit. I need this Mon at around 50%, and to be safe 40%, so I can kill with Latios. I'm just sacking off my entire team. He can't go for Roost because I have Fire Blast and Earthquake respectively. Now I can go out to Latios, and because his Lusamine is not Focus Sashed anymore because of Pursuit, I can go for a Psyshock, and that is a good game. This was a fun match. It was pretty down to the wire, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.